Right. Hello. Take this off because I get confused when I go to upload these videos. Um, it's Tuesday. I had been doing videos every day of the week. Then I stopped at Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And I've been trying to work and organize things. I'm like, man, I feel like I need to do more content, especially as I'm getting older. My back is shredded. So, as my body deteriorates, I want to put out more content to leave behind. I said, oh, I had been thinking about this thing called the writing room. I had a magazine I was calling the writing room about writing, how to write, tips, things about writing. And I said, hey, man, think the writing room, maybe I bring that back. How would I do it? Videos? Okay, maybe we do videos. And then take a subject and say, how would we write nonfiction on it? And how we write fiction on it. So that's what we're going to do. Today, as I sit here, we're dealing with a storm. And the storm in a nonfiction way is coming across the country. New York City is preparing because now whenever it rains in New York City, it floods. This city it's falling apart so badly. It's been ignored and poorly maintained for 40, 50 years, right? They're building more buildings. More people are coming. They're building more buildings. People are living on the street. That's one thing. So you have all these people living on trains and subways and things. So they're putting wear and tear on the street instead of in the apartments where they belong. That's one thing. If you're living in the street, you're eating in the street, your trash is in the street. Drainage systems are clogged with garbage because people are living in the street. Why they're not living in the empty apartments that's for rent? That's a social thing we could get to another time. So everything's in disrepair. So every time it rains, it don't have to rain hard. Subway shut down. When I was young, we used to have blizzards, and the next day stuff will be running. Now, subway shut down, city shut down, school shut down, everything shuts down. Sometimes even when they think a storm is coming, sometimes it snows a little bit and goes away and everything already shut down. So you can write about that if you were doing nonfiction story, if you were writing a journalistic story, write about how these storms affect your local town, city, whatever it is. You could write about climate change overall. Hurricanes are destroying towns. Tornadoes, I meant to say, are destroying towns. Hurricanes are destroying places. Earthquakes. I'm not sure if earthquakes is climate change, but I know tornadoes and hurricanes are just destroying things. Droughts in some places. So you can write about climate change and what it's doing. In nonfiction, you can write about transportation. How can we reduce the number of cars on the road? We had the blueprint again. I keep saying this. People don't realize 2020 was a great moment in history. People were working from home. People were going to school from home. There were less cars, traffic. Public transportation wasn't crowded. Here in New York City, they even closed overnight because our public transportation runs 24 hours, but it wasn't needed 24 hours. I would go into the city because I was in New Jersey then. I would have a whole car to myself. Maybe another person would be in the car. And it got so that when you got in the car and another person was in there, they would be way down the other end of the car. They'd be like, ah, man, what's he doing here? Because we got so used to having a whole train car to ourselves. They didn't do anything with the homeless people in New York. They were just living all over the street, sidewalk, street, because there wasn't much traffic going on. But post offices were open. supermarkets were open, so you still have places to go. Um, Restaurants were closed at first, and then we're just doing deliveries or pickups. So you can still go to a restaurant and do pickups. Um, so you could write about that. You could write about the climate change. You could write about the storm. You can write about what it's doing to cities, what it's not. You could write about what happens. If you were going to do a nonfiction essay or some kind of story, or what happens to people who lose their homes in storms? Nobody really follows up to what happened. We know their homes. Do they stay in hotels? Does it come out of their pocket? How does insurance work? Do they ever get back on their feet? Do they get money to start a new life? Where? These are the things I think if you were doing nonfiction stories about storms, you could do that. Now, fiction, I mean, there's all kinds of places you can go with storms. You can have storms destroy the power in a town or city or neighborhood, and some kind of chaos ensues. Right? You can have aliens, and I'm thinking about doing this on one of my anthologies. Aliens are creating storms to try to bring human beings to subdue us, to bring us down to some kind of sanity. I'm getting ready to write a thing for that for my anthology Beyond. I'm going to do that. And the whole story, the way I'm going to do it, is the aliens conversating and watching from orbit and doing the storms, and then reporting what happens after, what do they do, what's happening, and back and forth. So I think I'm going to do that. I got beyond the first book, the first season, so now I'm going to do second season. I write all my stuff in script format. You could do that. You could do the storm happens and power goes out. You could always do that. You could do, if you wanted to do a child thing, from the point of view of a storm. The tornado is actually intelligent and talking and going at people. If it's children, it could be the storm going. Maybe it catches a child and they become friends. You can do that. You can do a situation where, not for children, the storm is intelligent and it's going at people, right? It's wind. So maybe the people in the town are polluting the air. And then the air comes to life and makes a tornado, makes a storm, and starts wiping people out. People are polluting the water, so the water becomes intelligent and it just starts to wash onto land, overtake land. You can have it bring certain animals on to destroy people, like a Sharknado type of thing, but it could be all kinds of animals. An infiltration of crabs come in and start destroying people and going back to sea. You can do all kinds of things like that with the storms in the fictional way. So I hope you enjoy this. I'll do this like I do everything. Some of these will be behind the paywall, some of them won't. But this is what we'll talk about. You come, you learn how to do some writing, you get ideas about writing. I know we're becoming a non-literate society, but you still need writing. Movies, films, shows need scripts. And I know AI is writing scripts, but that's okay. We can write them too. We can write them along with them, with people. And from what I understand, the nonfiction part, AI just sweeps through the internet and picks up what's there and throws it into stories. So they're finding that AI is not discriminated between what's real and what's not. Like, I can write for Substack and I can use my opinion. Somebody else can write for Substack about the same subject and use footnotes and books, and the AI will just take whatever and throw it together. It might take mine's, it might take theirs, but one is more cited. I use a lot of sources too for my stuff, but I still have thoughts on the things and when I'm breaking it down. So AI hasn't differentiated that yet. I guess if you created AI to only go to certain, but then if you take mainstream sites, they're not accurate. I watch mainstream news, they're always lying. They're saying things I know are not right. Historically, socially, legally, I know that they're saying things that are not right. So that's not true. But reporters just say what's on the prompter in front of them. And producers don't know much. These are young people usually behind the scenes. They're not well read. They don't have basic knowledge. One of the things when we were because I have a degree in journalism, one of the things that we were taught in journalism is you have to have a large body of basic knowledge. So we were encouraged to just read about everything, all kinds of things. And you definitely have to know some political science if you want to be a journalist. You have to know some sociology. I say to do anything in this world, you really should take psychology, even if it's just Psych 101 and Psych 100 and Psych 200 or Psych 100, Psych 102, however they number it now. Take Psych. Take Psych. Because we need to know how the brain and the mind works, and you'll realize that this whole social structure is insane. And that's why people are losing it. Because it's breaking down, but they're invested in the insanity. And that's why they're losing their minds. They should be joyous and liberated, but it's dragging now because people are so invested in the madness. But that was my writing room for today. We talked about storms. I hope you got some good ideas. I hope you want to use them. If you want to support me, you know how. Hit the links. You can give directly, I think, on this channel, or my Cash App is listed. You can buy from from my Etsy shop, or you can join my Patreon. Right? And there you can even donate $1. There's something I do free on the Patreon. It's samples. I give samples on the Patreon to everybody. So maybe I'll see you there. I don't know if you can comment unless you're a subscriber, but I think I list my Instagram. You can get at me, and a lot of my stuff is on Instagram too, so you can get at me there and talk to me. We can go back and forth. Again, take care of yourself. I hope you ride out the storm well. Matter of fact, I need to plug my phone up just in case. And be safe and take care of yourselves and take care of each other, please.